My name is Sha. Like Luke mentioned, one of the founders of GIFpop. My day job is actually working as a founder of a company called Nava. We've been working with the government, with the federal government, to working on redesigning healthcare.gov and other parts of the federal government. That's my day job. Today we're talking about GIFs. And for me, I wanted to talk just a little bit about animated GIFs as a design material. From my background as a designer, my background as an architect. And what I wanted to talk about was animated GIFs as both a design material and the movements by social networks to start to capitalize on them. As probably everyone in this room feels, I love GIFs. My side project, GIFpop, is a site where people upload GIFs to print custom animated cards. They're printed on, one-off lenticular sheets, small size to wall-sized prints. We end up working on lots of different fun projects, collaborating with schools to teach kids about animation, working with artists on exhibitions. We've worked with the amazing Lorna Mills, who you'll see her work later. Sorry? Yeah, of course. And we've also been helping parents to, we had a couple parents email us last year, and they threw a surprise birthday party for their kid, where they made those like Harry Potter wizard cards, but with their kid in them. It's been super fun to work on GIFpop. We've worked on a lot of different capacities, for physical installations to sculptures. And it helps me sort of justify lurking Tumblr as a kind of professional development. Everyone has already presented a bunch of amazing work and perspectives. So I just want to qualify that I'm not an artist. I'm not a curator, I'm not an academic. I don't have that background. I'm an architect by training and an entrepreneur sort of by chance. And so what I love about GIFs is both their history and their materiality. No one owns the GIF format, not even the people who created the format, as much as they like to control or rant about the pronunciation of GIF or GIF. They don't own it anymore. Even the LZW compression algorithm, which the animated GIF spec is based on, with which the spec depends on, all those patents expired in 2003 to 2006. So the GIF format is free. First specified in 1987, the creators later stated in their 1989 revision that the Graphics Interchange Format is not intended as a platform for animation, even though it can be done so in a limited way. And what a gloriously, gloriously limited way it is. GIFs, whether you're hypnotized by them or nauseated by them, have become a new visual language. They are an emotive vocabulary made out of culture. As Electra mentioned earlier, they are also a populist format. And also, as Jason showed, GIFs are now a medium. And their portability and their accessibility to anyone with simple image editing skills allows for endless remixing and reinterpretation. For example, in my quote-unquote research, I found the original Super Hot Fire parody video of a rap battle, then found the first Reddit comment to make the seamless loop of that animated GIF, and then people revisiting that Reddit thread over the past 3 or 4 years, showing up and saying, I've been looking for this source and I finally found it, and I just wanted to thank you for making my favorite GIF. As like this kind of weird pilgrimage back to the origin of the first seamless Super Hot Fire animated GIF. There's been, countless remixing in terms of, Obama in front of the White House, different folks with like Hillary and Biden as other members of the crew. I just find it super fascinating. And I think that much of the experimentation that is possible with the GIF is due to the simplicity of the image format. Jason covered kind of the under construction GIFs of the 90s. The GIF spec limits the color palette to 256 colors, and must specify individually what pixels have changed for every single frame of animation. This makes them incredibly inefficient as video. It makes them incredibly inefficient for rendering whole movies, but makes them extremely nicely and uniquely equipped to capture the most delicate of moments. But sorry. But what I love about GIFs isn't just the reaction GIFs that the format is uniquely suited for. What I love is that the inefficiency of the file format and the strict upload limits of social networks themselves have created an entire ecosystem of experimentation and juggling around constraints. Here, for example, is a diagram of a way of cutting up a GIF into 256 color blocks, stitching them back together to create a GIF with 1859 colors. These are ways of pushing the format, and people have programs to do this, and people do this by themselves manually. But they're pushing the format in order to get some richness out of it that we sometimes associate with GIFs today. Using a related strategy, Jamie Beck and Kevin Berg realized that by isolating the movement in a GIF, they could actually make GIFs at a much higher quality than most that were found at the time on Tumblr, and still fit Tumblr's strict 1 megabyte upload limits. They created the style that we now call cinemagraphs. At the time that they, kind of tried to coin this term, or some of the people to prototype this methodology, Tumblr's upload limit was 1 megabyte. When you view, just for reference, like when you view a single tweet on the web, you download about 2.5 megabytes of JavaScript alone. So this is pushing the format in a really interesting way. Sports editors have taken this technique even further, taking advantage of the controlled camera angles of sporting events to collapse and collage many similar shots into a single GIF, like this one of LeBron James. Artists, of course, are leading this charge. Patty mentioned David, the work of DVDP, and 89A, Matt Lucas in London. They both explore extremely limited color palettes, so restricting the number of colors that are actually showing up in the GIF. And they use incredibly tight loops, 8 to 24 frames, and large swaths of black to reduce the file size. One GIF artist, Mr. Div, told me that he often makes things that are spheres to post on Tumblr, because if it doesn't fit Tumblr's upload limit, he can shrink the size of the sphere and add more of a black border around it, and then reduce the number of pixels that are changing. As another artist, Patak, who's also a pretty well-known Tumblr artist, made the same comment when we were doing editions for them with GIFpop. They were like, oh, so now we can actually fill out the frame more, because this stuff was made shrunken and small to kind of hack around the upload limits. In a similar way, the work of Nicholas Fong explores the tight looping to a sort of ridiculous extreme, creating hyper-intricate animations that evoke the phenakistoscopes of the 1800s. On the left is the work of the archivist Dick Balzer, an amazing name, who's been kind of posting these old these old zoetrope and phenakistoscopes online on Tumblr and sharing them back with the public. And even in this work, what I love is that we can see the seams of the network in the content that's posted. On Tumblr, like I mentioned, where upload limits are small, but multiple side-by-side GIFs are permitted, people collage little snippets of dialogue together into GIF sets. Focus is placed on gestures and facial expressions rather than completing an entire scene or an entire line of dialogue. Creative folks on Tumblr know the default layouts so well now that they even play with the literal layout of GIFs on Tumblr's dashboard. They create optical illusions by faking the white space as if this GIF was 3 separate images, and create a single one to surprise the viewer while they're scrolling through their Tumblr dashboard. This illusion doesn't even work if you view it on that original Tumblr theme. It only works in the dashboard. So it's such a site-specific kind of intervention. I find it super fascinating. On Imager, the preferred uploader for Reddit, upload limits are much, much higher. Whole scenes can be redone these days, and other GIFs can be held for sort of far longer than expected for comedic effect. Like this kind of insane remix someone made of a Colbert reaction GIF. Anyway, on New Hive, another platform that maybe many of you are familiar with, artists like Molly Soda and many other artists on the platform take advantage of New Hive's native support for transparent GIFs and positioning and collaging GIFs to make pieces like this, where she is using found GIFs, custom glitter kind of generator GIFs, to display messages from her OkCupid inbox. And you know, I find this work and this treatment of this material just fascinating. Content like this just explodes. And you know, we've watched, right, as newer networks like Vine have cropped up. A product that was worked on in stealth and was quickly acquired by Twitter, trying to create their own medium of looping video. Here's the common meme on the left by Ryan McHenry, who started the meme "Ryan Gosling won't eat his cereal," and you know, the rough part about the right GIF is actually it's Ryan Gosling doing a tribute to Ryan, because Ryan McHenry passed away early last year. He was making these GIFs and became super popular, and then struggled with cancer and died. So this GIF by Ryan Gosling is not only a remix, a shout out, but it's also a tribute. All happening on Vine. This is heavy and loaded and weird territory. For every Vine kind of media cultural success, there are now a dozen other GIF apps trying to capitalize on this economy, trying to corner some of the market in this attention. Because where there is attention, VCs and startups see money to be made. And this plays out as everything from small seed-funded startups like Blippi, Ubersnap, and Cinemagram, to big plays like Boomerang by Instagram, Apple with live photos, Giphy, who just raised $30 million, and GIFs.com, some bros in the valley. Sorry. We can talk about all these, but you know, while these platforms are some of them, like Vine, create new formats and new medias, the mainstreaming of GIFs is not without its losses. Tumblr has increased its upload limit to 2 or 3 megabytes now, but has also, in order to fight spam, has increased its minimum resolution size. Imgur is promoting its own video GIF format, where they automatically convert GIFs to video and serve the video instead. Facebook and Twitter have started converting GIFs to video by default. While this might just seem like modernization, what worries me is that this is actually a business strategy. The fact that a GIF now can be, when it is uploaded to Twitter, cannot be reposted to Facebook is incredibly important. And vice versa. If you post a GIF to Facebook, it is converted to video, processed, stripped of any sort of identifying source URL, and it cannot then be shared on any other platform. While individually these decisions to decrease file sizes or stop GIFs from auto-playing on mobile devices may make sense, what they end up doing is siloing these animations from each other, removing the portability and ease of remixing that makes GIFs exciting at all. GIFs are a dumb, really dumb, limited file format. And in the end, this is why they are important. They do not belong to anyone. Because of their constraints, they become a design material to be played with, challenged, and explored. To try and domesticate them would be missing the point. Thank you.